Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tay Jones and Javon Sugar Hill. I know a lot of you guys were waiting for the counterpunch from that particular interview where Tay Jones he came on briefly, and him and Javon Sugar Hill had some few words. And I know it's been a few days now, and I did one on the other guy. And here's my counterpunch on Tay Jones and Javon Sugar Hill. Now, a lot of people have told me about it, like, hey, when are you going to do a video on it? So here it is. Tay Jones, now, he runs right along with everything else that he was saying a few months ago, everything about the water being spiked and stuff like that. It was pretty much verified. The gloves, Mauricio Suleiman, I interviewed the man, okay, and we talked about Jose, Mauricio, not Jose. God bless the dead. Mauricio Suleiman. And he was how he basically covered up the facts and those things. So there were some points given. But as far as the dialogue that Javon Sugar Hill had and Tay Jones had, it wasn't really anything sly of, hey, be ready. It's coming. You cheated us. You know what I mean? So that's why I did the other interview first, because in this interview with these two guys, rather, it wasn't really anything you could really grab for. It was the fact that Tay Jones was mad. He felt that his good friend / brother was cheated. And that's how he always felt. He really didn't say too much that we really didn't know. And the question is, when people were asking me is, well, why was Javon Sugar Hill? Why was he so quiet? Why wasn't he more responsive? That's the word. Why wasn't he more responsive through that time when Tay Jones was talking shit? Well, you have to understand something about Javon Sugar Hill. Javon Sugar Hill's not, if you know his demeanor, when have you seen him get like outraged? You know what I mean? He's not like a guy that talks a lot of shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's not like in it, like even when those interviews, he's a light spoken guy. He's more like, oh, well, hey, well, what like what are you talking about, or this, that, and the other? And then, and Tay Jones really didn't go into detail about it, because I don't think at that point he had to. He could have addressed it or whatnot, but Tay didn't ask him specific questions like about the gloves and this, that, and the other. None of that was discussed. So it was like, I looked at it, I was like, okay, yeah, he charged him up. A lot of people said, well, that wasn't classy of Tay Jones, but here's the thing about Tay Jones. Tay Jones is he's a young man that's pissed off. So he was acting accordingly. He was acting pissed off. He was pissed off. He was mad about certain things. But mostly it was a charge up. He was charging Javon Sugar Hill up. He was like, yeah, don't worry. You're going to see me again. You're going to see me again face to face. You're going to see me here. You're going to see me there. And what I think that meant was he will be there instead of J. Diaz. He will see if the gloves were taped, because he's a boxer himself. He will be there. He will see that the gloves will be wrapped properly. The gloves will be put on properly. He will touch the gloves. He will examine the gloves. He will see if there's any foul play. And I believe that he will be there every step of the way. And if he won't, and if he's not, then he shouldn't start. He shouldn't be talking. But I believe that's what he meant. Because if you can't sit there and damn near be there when that man walks out, right? Because that's the only way that you're going to ensure that nothing happens past that. See, Tay Jones didn't talk about the cameras or anything else. That was the other guy. The other guy brought that up, and then they went, in detail about the cameras and how they felt about this, and what if it was on the shoe was on the other foot and those type of things. Well, Tay Jones didn't say any of that, so it wasn't really nothing that was tangible besides be ready, we coming, you'll see me face to face, and you cheated. You don't cheat my family. That's all we really had. But to top all this off, hopefully the third fight will get made for Deontay Wilder to get revenge. But as far as Glovegate and all that stuff goes, that stuff should be in court. Maybe that's why he didn't say too much. But I mean, I guess he saved it for the other guy and he might have heard it or whatever, But it's not really anything to really discuss, honestly. There's nothing really to counterpunch. He was just there, and he charged up Javon Sugar Hill. Javon Sugar Hill wasn't, he wasn't bothered by it. And then see, it's one of those situations where Javon Sugar Hill, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he don't. Why? Because had he reacted or got pissed off, people would have been like, why are you getting so mad? You see how Javon Sugar Hill got all pissed off? You see him? Look at him. Look at all blanket all fast. Look at him talking shit. Why And then when he don't say nothing, oh man, he cheated. He should have said something. Dude, you're gonna lose to somebody. You're gonna lose. You can't win. You know what I mean? But what I saw as a guy that didn't get too bothered about, first of all, how Tay Jones charged him up. You know what I mean? And, some of the words that he used, he didn't really call the man a bitch. He said, no, you're going to be up in this bitch. We're going to see you up in that bitch. That means I'm going to see you up in that place. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't really he called, because I've seen in the comments, people, well, you see Tay Jones call the man a bitch. He was like, well, no, he was talking about a particular place. Certain rhetoric and certain dialogue is used in certain places. In the South, we use it like you wouldn't say, you would call that, like, ain't that a bitch? So those type of things, it was a figure of speech, in other words. Okay, so it wasn't that bad. Did he have to use that? No, but he did. He did it because he wanted to. Free country. But no, Javon Sugar Hill wasn't bothered by it. And I feel if he was bothered by that shit, he would have acted a certain way. Like he would have just started like moving, being all jittery and stuff like that. Or, he would have just been kind of, trying to avoid questions. No, he let Tay Jones talk. That's what you do. That's what you do. You let someone talk. Now, the person that don't want you to talk is a person that don't want to hear certain things come out of your mouth. That's the thing you got to ask yourself. And then you ask yourself this question. Did that happen with them two guys? That's all you need to know. If one guy was talking and the other guy cut him off, that's all you really need to know. You let someone speak. You let someone express themselves. And that's what Javon Sugar Hill let Tay Jones do. And Tay Jones said it the way he said it. It wasn't a long dialogue deal anyway. The interview between those two, it wasn't really that eventful, honestly. Just a few words that Tay Jones used, but that's Tay Jones. But anyway, there's nothing really to say about that. Hopefully they do see each other again. But hopefully they don't clog up their careers along with other possible fights, fucking around with something that will never be. In other words, if they're not going to fight, shut up and fight somebody else. You know what I mean? Because Wilder, the last thing he wants to do is be caught up and become prisoned to this shit. If he says, hey, let's move on, okay, let's move on. We've moved on from that or whatnot. Let's see how the mediation comes, hopefully sometime this month. We will hopefully see something happen because of it. Hopefully it does happen. But if it doesn't, move on. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this video with concerning Tay Jones and Javon Hill. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.